All right. Well, give praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh, way of Yeshua HaMashiach. John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that come from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accused you, even Moses, of whom ye trust. For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? So we're looking at this for this explicit reason on the question that I asked y'all. Let's look at 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 1 before we even get to that. After we look at 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 1, let's go to Exodus chapter 32. What's going on, Brother Bill? He said, this second epistle I'll not write unto you, and both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. You know, we talked about that on Wednesday, about having a pure conscience and a pure mind, right? You know, that's very vital and very important, that your mind be purified and be clean. Like Paul said, I exercise myself to have a conscience void of offense towards the Most High and man. The only way that your mind could be able to be made pure is by the adherence to the word, as Psalms tell us. That's why he say, unto the pure all things is pure. To those that are defiled, nothing is pure, and their conscience is defiled and seared with a hot iron. When we sit back and you look at stuff like I say, I was talking to Brother Will Cousins, and her family members saying, why you don't do Christmas, why you don't do this to the baby, we do this for Jesus. My God don't got all these restrictions. Like she said, that's what her people told her. My God, you can eat crabs and all this here. My God let me do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm mentioning this only for one reason, because it's an example of what Paul was talking about in Titus. About to those that are minds are not pure, all things are defiled. You can do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? The word is not washed your mind and washed your conscience from dead works. If your mind is still dead and your mind is still defiled, then everything that comes out of that is going to be defiled. That's why Mashiach said it ain't what go in your mouth that defile you, it's what come out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be the stuff that's in your heart. No matter how much you sit back and you say you hear the word or you read the book, if your conscience is defiled, everything you do going to be defiled. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to make no difference. Matter of fact, hold what you got since I said that. Hold the 2 Peter 3:1. Get Micah 6 and 11. Listen what this man say now in Micah 6 and 11. Micah 6 and 11. Well, George got that look on her face like them old black grandma do be looking like boy, I'm going to beat everybody in the room. That's just how she was looking just now. I'm going to beat everybody in the room. That thing say you don't know who did it, I'm going to whoop both of y'all. That's Jordan. Shall I count them pure with wicked balances and with a bag of deceitful weights? What you think that would mean if he say I will count them pure? Should I count them pure with wicked balances and a bag of deceitful weights? Scales off. That means your perception off, mean your judgment is off. Hold on now. For the rich man thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. You see what I'm saying? That's the same thing you sit back looking at. Should I count them that are pure? Should I count them pure with wicked balances? See, come on back over here to Romans chapter 2. Hold 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Look at Romans chapter 2, about verse 1. He said a scant measure is in their ways. Romans 2 and 1. See, then it makes sense where we turn around and we see Paul making a statement. Should I count you pure? You got a bag full of deceitful weights? Your mouth full of lies? Therefore thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judge, for when thou judge another, thou condemn thyself, for thou that judge do the same things. But we are sure that the judgment of Elohim is according to truth, against them which commit such things. And think thou this, O man, that judge them which do such things, do the same, that thou should escape the judgment of Elohim. When Paul is asking these people, he basically asking him, you think you pure? You got this bag full of deceitful ways? Because that goes back to what we were looking at the scribes and the Pharisees, right? They make a show in front of men, but inwardly full of deceit and dead men's bones, hypocrisy and iniquity. You got a bag full of deceitful ways. Should I count you pure? You know what I'm saying? So you have to sit back and look at the same thing. Should y'all count you pure? And you got a bag full of deceitful ways. You got a lying tongue in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Your balance is off because you sit back looking at it, you thinking you taking the word in, but your heart ain't pure. The word ain't actually cleansed all of that stuff out of there like we looked on Wednesday. He say, should not the blood of a Mashiach purge your conscience from dead works? You know, if it's a dead work, what would it be? A defiled work. Because anything that's dead is unclean, right? So any work that you're doing that's against the word of Yah, that's an unclean work. That's a defiled work. So if our minds are defiled, how do we expect a pure and clean Elohim to dwell in us then? How's that going to happen? You know what I'm saying? So guess what? This is a long time ago we looked at this. I mean, real, maybe about 2 years ago. You know, when King Hezekiah and they were getting the sanctuary right, they said, let's cleanse out the inner sanctum so we can make it ready. So it could be meet and used for worship, for use. For you to be able to be made meet and ready for y'all, you need to be preparing your body, your mind for him to dwell there, to cleanse it and get that stuff up out of there. But if you don't do that, there's nowhere in the world. Because they cleansed everything. They took everything out of the temple and cleaned it. They took everything up out of there. Say, can't none of this stuff stay in here. All of it's defiled. It's got to go. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit back and look at whatever you got in your temple. You're going to have to get it up out of there and clean it. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, it's a lot of people, man, they hearing the word just like we get to hear the word, but they not making themselves ready, though. That's why we made mention of that the other night. You got dudes that, most Israelite dudes, man, they only hear the word 60 times a year. You know what I'm saying? 300, you talking about 60 out of 365. You know what I'm saying? By y'all grace and mercy, we get 190 out of 365. You know what I'm saying? That's over half the year. So they mean that's over half the year to get instruction in the way that we ought to walk and what we ought to do, and our faith ought to be increased with that level of information. These niggas only see each other once a week. Once a week. They say I had a dude tell me it's impossible to get a whole congregation together for Passover and Tabernacles for the whole 8 days. I said, why would you say that? Because it is. It's only impossible if nobody wants to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not impossible to do. Just say you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Which means there's no way in the way your mind could be pure. Because anybody with a pure mind will want to gather together with the other sanctified ones and hear the word of y'all, no matter who we're preaching. And if it's a true preacher, okay, I got to be there. I want to be there. I got a brother telling me, nah, man, he got brothers who he preach with, they don't want to preach during the week. They don't want to preach twice on the side. It ain't in their heart to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's in his heart to want to do it, but he not the one who run the show. You know what I'm saying? So he got to sit back. All he can do is make mention. You know what I'm talking about? Then he got to fall back because the man who on top make the final call. He don't make the final call to do it. It ain't going to get done. He can't take it upon himself and go do it. You know what I'm saying? When he got the people saying, we need more. You really think one time a week would be sufficient? I mean, it don't matter if you preaching or not preaching. Like, what is one time a week going to do for anybody? They ain't going to do nothing for nobody. So now I got to wait a whole 7 days again. You know what I'm saying? Man, you floating around like that there, man, ain't no telling what you'll get yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Come on back to 2 Peter 3:1. That's why in the writer of Hebrews, he sat back and told her, he said, you know, Elohim is not unrighteous to not look upon your labor and love and that you minister to the saints and do minister. You got to want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't want to do it. Them niggas think they doing something. We on the highways and byways every Sabbath. Nigga, you standing out there with you and one other nigga in the camera. What is you really doing? Only 2, 3 niggas walk up to you and say something to you. You standing out here sweating, looking stupid all day long. Ain't help nobody. Stop. All to put up a video talking about we done cut a Edomite. This is what you out here for. You know what I'm saying? 3:1 yet one more time. Don't do that, boy. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. This second epistle, beloved, I write unto you, and both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, that you may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the Kodesh prophets and of the commandments of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. That's what people sit back and look at. Where he at? Where is he at? See, let's look at Matthew 16, about verse 27, and see something that the Master said. See something the Lord said. Let's actually look and see, because obviously if we hear him talking, we know he came in the flesh, right? We don't think we need to establish that if we're reading what a man talking, right? So let's see if he tell these people he going to come back and if he going to leave. You know what I'm saying? Because we already know. We already started off looking at, he say search the scriptures. And he said if you would have believed Moses, you would have believed me. Because he told you about it. But you know how some of them stupid niggas be looking at, well, where's his name at? Are you that simple? I've heard dudes say that. Where's his name at? Show me where Moses said, Yeshua, son of Nazareth, son of Mary and Joseph gonna come. I say, well, keep looking for it then. You know what I'm saying? Dudes say stuff like that when they actually don't believe and they trying to find a reason to reject something. Just say, I don't believe it. Go about today. 16:27, Matthew. For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his Malachim, with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. He will reward every man according to his works. Truly I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. He just said when he come, he going to reward everybody according to what they doing. And he say some here ain't going to die till they see me come in my kingdom. So now he just told you, I'm coming back. Let's look at John chapter 16. Let's see if he told him if he was going to leave. (16 and 7). Let's just look there and see if he going to leave. Somebody breathing hard. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth, it is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you, but if I depart, I will send him unto you. And when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment, of sin because they believe not on me, of righteousness because I go to my Father and you see me no more, of judgment because the prince of this world is judged. So now we're looking at what? Now you told him he got to go. Now we know he came in the flesh. He said he got to go. And then he coming back. Well, hold on. Let's look at two things he say he going to do when he come back. Let's look at John 5 and 25. Let's look at two things he say he going to do when he come back. Well, what that is, boy, somebody sound like they got asthma. I don't know. They breathing hard. Verse 24. John 5 and 24. Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that hear my word and believe on him that sent me have everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Truly, truly, I say unto you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of Elohim, and they that hear shall live. For as the Father have life in himself, so have he given to the Son to have life in himself, and have given him authority to execute judgment, also because he is the Son of Man. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. Now I want y'all to back up. I'm going to see who caught this, because I think we looked at this last night. Where can we go at to see what we see that last night in verse 26, where the Father had life in himself, so have he given the Son to have life in himself? Who remember where we read that at last night? I cross-referenced it last night with John 10 and 17. The Father had given me a commandment to lay my life down, and I have power to lay it down and take it again. Who said the same thing? I give you an added thing onto it. He also said, I got my teeth, my flesh in my teeth. Yeah, you were right, Troy. That was Job. Say, I got power to lay my life down, and my flesh is in my teeth. Because remember, Hamashiach ate that bread right along with him too, didn't he? You know what I'm saying? Now let's sit back and look at the other thing. What is the other thing that he said he would do when on his return? Let's look at Matthew 25 and 41. Let's sit back and see what he said he was going to do. Yeah, they going hard. I don't even think they know what's going on. He said, then he shall say unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. So basically we see him coming back to work wrath against all those who have worked unrighteousness in the earth, right? So let's turn around and let's look at Exodus 32. Let's see if Moses came, because we know Moses came. We talked about that last night, right? He was called, he was sanctified, right? He was called to be set apart to y'all. Exodus 32 and 1. Man. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together under Aaron. Hold on, let's look at 31 and 17. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days Yah made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed. He gave unto Moses, he made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone, written with the finger of Elohim. So now we see Moses done came, and he finna go up to go meet Yah in the mountain. So he about to depart. Now we just read verse 1 now. When the people saw that Moses delayed to come down to the mount, the people gathered themselves together under Aaron and said unto him, up, make us powers, which shall go before us. As for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we walk not what is become of him. That's the same thing we just read in Peter. Because now we looking at Moses who brought us up out of the land of Egypt. Well, we know Yeshua is the one who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, which is death and sin. And what do people sit back and say? We don't know what become of him. We don't know when he's coming back. Where's the promise of his coming? You know what I'm saying? These dudes don't realize the stuff that they writing, the stuff they saying, it's already been done. He say, ain't nothing new under the sun. Which has been, has already been done. All these men came, did, and just worked, showed a similitude of what this man had to come back and do, because the mentality and mind frame of the people is no different now than what it was then. That's what we read last night. He said, oh, my Lord, the day is coming. I'm going to eat and drink and beat the men servants and the maid servant. And what he said he going to do. And when he come back, I'm going to rip you asunder, which will give you your portion with the hypocrites and unbelievers. Because you thought he wasn't coming. So you didn't feel no need to make yourself ready. You thought you had time to play. Let's see what these people did. And Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with the graving tool. And after he had made it a molten calf, they said, these be thy powers, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Do you know that stupid nigga try to say the name of Yah is actually an idol god? You know what I'm saying? Because of this calf. See, Yah is the name of the calf. It didn't say that the calf's name was Yah. You know what I'm saying? You got people who say that, especially them dudes who try to get you to say Ahia all the time. And the worst part is, you dumb nigga, in that name you using the name of Yah in it when you spell it. How stupid can you be? You know what I'm saying? Them niggas take that Exodus 3 and 14 and try to translate it. They come up with a higher. But they get this from a man who is a known booty blower. A known whoremonger. You know what I'm saying? Why would you even receive any information whatsoever and give it any credence to a man who's openly looked you in the face and say, yeah, I slept with all the women, but I repented of that and still sleeping with them? Nobody can't find them. The nigga got a school to teach you the word, but he charge you money for it. I'm straight up. He got an academy. You can enroll at his academy, and you got to pay this nigga like maybe between $200 and $500 a month, something like that, like a real live tuition, to be taught lies. And he might sleep with your wife. That's the word part. He was sitting with me when we seen it. This grown man admitted, yeah, I eat vaginas, have sex with the women. He admitted it. And anytime somebody come to him about it, he say, brother, that's in the past. It's not in the past, sir. It's not in the past. You're still doing it. You're still doing it. I'm trying to tell you, if that man was in here right now, he'll be trying to swing his penis to a couple of y'all right now. And guess what? If you ain't know no better, some of y'all will go for it. Some of y'all will go for it. You know what I'm talking about? Then you sitting here wondering, how did that happen? When you go to find out, you thinking you the only one for him. He banging up all the rest of the women too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, watch the people. These people say the name of Yah is Satan. That's how far they go with it. They say the name of Yah is Satan. I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we know.
I know all y'all don't. Some of y'all do though. He say verse 5, and when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to Yah. So that's why they turn around and say that. Because he said it's a feast to Yah, and they say this calf was their God. So that's why they say the calf is Yah, and it's an idol, and that's the devil. That's why they say that. You know what I'm saying? But Aaron knew better. Aaron knew that calf wasn't Yah. Aaron had already had seen the Elohim of Israel. He already knew what time it was. He already know he was wrong. Listen what they say. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. See, that's what's going on. That's what's going on right now. That's what some of y'all be doing. You want to eat, drink, and play. That sounds like kids, don't it? That sounds like what kids like to do. Let me eat, drink, and go play. I ain't take nothing serious. Let's see what happens. Yah said unto Moses, go, get thee down, for the people which thou brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and say, these be thy powers, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Now, where you think we could go at and see another similitude of this here? He said they have corrupted themselves and gone outside of the way which I told them to do. Because I know y'all, some of y'all mentioned this, man, and it's not a dead ringer all the way, but it's close. It's real close. No. Who else said something? Let's look at Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5. See, because it's going on right now. 6 and 5. And after that, Matthew 24, about verse maybe 12. Six and 5, Genesis. And Yah saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented Yah that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yah said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from off the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing and the fowls of the air, for it repent me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yah. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with Elohim. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was also corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. And Elohim looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh have corrupted his way on the earth. Now we see the same thing. Remember, what did Hamashiach say his coming would be like? As in the days of Noah. Now we look in the earth right now, and what do you see? The way of Yah is corrupt in the whole earth. We just read last night in the Epistle of Jude, he said men have crept in what? Unaware, right? You know what I'm saying? And have speak lasciviousness and turned the grace of our Yah and our power and our Lord and Savior into lust. Just how I was telling you how the sister say about her mom. See, my God say, you can eat crabs, and you can lay with boys, and you can be a whoremonger, and you can fornicate, and you can drink. But see, you got to understand something. When somebody Christian, it don't really stop nowhere. Even now, they ain't stopping at the punks no more. The punks good too. How can they even say something about punks when the punk been the choir director for 15, 20 years? You know, when people used to tell me that, I used to think they would just be exaggerating. Till I actually seen evidence repeatedly that the choir director always seemed to be somewhat effeminate. If this not outright homosexual. How can the man stand up there and say something about a sissy when the sissy leading the choir and they done won 4 or 5 championships and got all this money for the church? How he gonna say something about this sweet booty nigga? You know what I'm saying? Maybe your best singer's a bull dagger. She carpet munching, but shoot, man. That girl can sing though. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, I was at the barbershop yesterday, man. My homeboy say some woman walked in there. He said, boy, I ain't even gonna look, boy, I'm not sure. I said, what you talking about? I said, man, that might be a man. I don't even want to have the bad thoughts. That nigga said, I don't even want to feel bad about having bad thoughts if it is a dude, because I'm not sure right now. That nigga said, you can't even tell no more. Man, there was a girl that from around the way, man, her name Kim. I can't remember her last name, man. That was from around there in Spring Park. Man, he said, I just seen this hoe in Walmart fighting. She looked like a nigga, though. Then he said the girl looked like a man. And was fighting in Walmart with an old lady, 40 years old. All up about 40 years old, you still out here scrapping in Walmart. You know what I'm saying? But then the worst part is, though, you around here looking like a dude. But you know, I was telling them like this here, I told y'all this before. See, because all these women got these fans on their eyes, you know what I'm talking about? And this dog hair in their scalp. And all this clown makeup in their face. That's why these punks can slide. You know what I'm saying? Because if you had your real hair, and you ain't had no makeup on, and you ain't had them fans on your eyes, then you could be able to point. Look at this old sweet nigga here, man, he'll stand up. But it's some women out here, man, I'm telling you, I ain't call her name out, boy. I know she a woman. Because I know her brother. I remember when she was little, she looked like a man. You know what I'm saying? She be having all that makeup on, eyebrow look like that. Nigga, like you'll look at it and be like, boy, that's a tranny. And I know she a woman, I still be doubting. And I know she a woman. I'm telling you, I know she was this here big. I know she a woman, but boy, you looking like a tranny.
That's pretty bad, huh?
It is. It is.
I know it's a woman looking like a woman.
You know what I'm saying? But that's bad when you looking at somebody you know is a woman and you still wondering, is she a tranny or what? You know what I'm saying? Now you got these niggas out here in the world, they ain't gonna be able to tell the difference.
They don't care, most of them.
Some of them don't care, but guess what? Some of them don't care, but some niggas do. Cause you know what some of them niggas do? They be on that scuttle, or they been drinking, and they been seen this nigga and thought it was a woman, and then they don't find out till it's at the room, and then she pull out her penis, and then he get what? Now I gotta cut you.
Woo!
That's how it happens to you. That's how it happens. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about for real though. I ain't really trying to, it might sound funny, but it's really sad though. Because if these women didn't do this stuff, these niggas would have no way to skate by. You'd be able to spot them out. But since these women dress like this and they do this here, you sitting around here like this here, man, I don't know, boy. I'm going to have to watch what bathroom she go in.
Y'all they got the she-go thing where she can stand. Sorry, man, it's called like a she-go or something like that. And she can.
This is what they buy on camping trips so women got a squat. They put it on their thing.
Okay, tell me something, because I was finna ask y'all how y'all niggas know about that.
I seen it in the store.
You seen it in the store? I ain't never heard of that like that. I'm glad I ain't never seen it. What you say, Golden? Oh, he's Golden say he had to stop his wife from going in the woman's bathroom because one of them he-hopes went in there. Niggas say they mad at Ronda Rousey right now because it's a tranny want to fight her in the UFC match. She said, I'm not fighting. That's a man.
Oh, no.
That's a man.
He killed one girl.
Because that's a man. He gonna murder her. Then say, oh, why Ronda Rousey won't fight her? Because that's a man. That's not a woman. Because he done cut off his schlong. You mean to tell me like his genetics ain't changed? Like he ain't gonna be strong like a man?
You still just throw 20 pounds of muscle, nigga.
And they gonna take that woman and toss her around there like a rag doll. I ain't mad at her though. I'd have said the same, man, that's a dude. Man, that's not no woman. She can look at him and say, that nigga can get me pregnant.
Not no woman, no. At one point, he probably...
He still, guess what though? He's still making semen even though it's gone. He's still making semen. They say they could get some excretions out that nigga. He could make him one. That same way they been trying to say Serena looked like a man.
Can't get us.
I don't know what it could get. I don't know what them niggas do. I'm just throwing it out there. I ain't got no idea. I guarantee that nigga leaking somewhere, nasty bastard.
Because they cut everything off, I believe.
I don't know what they cut off. I don't even want to know. Make me cringe to even think about it.
Stupid, you know you don't get that.
You know that you ever seen them episodes on TV? They be going to talk about them hysterectomies and all the men on the TV show cross their leg. Everybody like, come on, man. I don't want to know nothing about it. But they've been doing the same thing with Serena Williams, talking about she looked like a man. And I done told y'all before, ain't nobody ever looked at Serena Williams and mistook her for no man. You know what I'm talking about?
Nobody.
I'm talking about not nobody. You say what you want to say. Well, when I was in prison and they had that picture when she wore that cat suit at the U.S. Open, boy, them niggas went crazy. That thing was inside every nigga lock in the dorm. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas going crazy. Ain't nobody in there thought she was no man. But then they put a picture of some white woman who looked more manly than anybody. Remember I tried to say she was ripped too. I'm talking about she was ripped. But I'm talking about the rip where they made her look like a man. Her shoulders was out here.
Yeah, shoulders bigger than his.
Broad.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Biceps like this. And you had a nerve. Serena arms just cut like Angela Bassett's arms.
Still look like a woman.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just a fight, dog, boy. A black woman do something well, oh, she got to look like a man. Ain't nothing manly about that woman. You know what I'm talking about? All these niggas were posting pictures up going crazy about it, talking about how they look. Like, why would you even feed into that? You know these people just want, you know white people vision of beauty is somebody who real thin. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody who look anorexic. You know that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about the point is that sometimes we supposed to be at a point, some of us who old enough to know, that where you wouldn't even feed into that. You already know they just mad because she's 33 years old, manhandling these people, year in and year out, tournament in and tournament out. They just mad. They threw their best white girls out at Wimbledon and she crashed them. You know what I'm saying? That was a couple years ago. She wasn't sick this time, was
That was a French. That was a French.
you know what I'm saying? And she crashed them. And then she done won all 4 major tournaments in the last calendar year. And now she got a chance to run them all 4 down whenever they play the U.S. Open. And if she win that one there, they going to say she manly again. And they going to say this here. At the same time, them same white men that say she manly will get their left arm and half their kids to have sex with them.
This is true.
I'm just being for real though. Man, you know they be sitting around looking at y'all like, that black meat. They be wanting y'all now. I go back to plantation time. You sit there and let the people fool y'all. They be trying to tell you ugly and you this, that, there, and the other. They want what you got. That's just being honest. Hold on one second, y'all. All right. All right, y'all. So now we looking at something, right? We look at Exodus 32, right? He said they corrupted their way. He said, get down and go holler at them. Now we see the same thing in Genesis chapter 6. The way y'all been corrupted, he said, get down there and go holler at them. Because he said, I'm going to kill everything that got breath in it. Well, let's look at 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. Tizzy Lizzy. What you talking about, Kingston? Second Thessalonians 1 and 8. What you want, Lizzie? In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Elohim, and they that obey not the gospel of our Lord, Yeshua HaMashiach, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power, when he shall be come to be glorified in his saints and to be admired in all them that believe, because our testimony is among you was believed in that day. Now I'm going to ask y'all a question. Do you think them people knew that they had no business worshiping idols in Exodus 32? You think they knew that? So that means that they got destroyed because they didn't believe then. Let's see if they got destroyed when they didn't believe. let's come on back. And we'll look at the second location before we look at some of this other stuff that I want to talk about this afternoon. Exodus 32. Let's look at about verse 17. You want to get down, listen? Yes, they can see you, listen. Got your war wounds going on. And Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted. And he said unto Moses, there is a noise of war in the camp. And he said, it is not a voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it a voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh the camp, he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hand and brake them beneath the mount. So it looks like his anger's been waxed. He's a little upset right now. Now, why would he be upset? Because of the idolatry, because of their sin. And what does 1 Samuel 15:23 tell us? What else is idolatry?
Witchcraft.
Rebellion is witchcraft. Rebellion is witchcraft. 1 Samuel 15:23 says rebellion is as witchcraft and stubbornness is idolatry. Is as idolatry. It is as sin and iniquity. When you sit back and you look at, remember what we talked about that there? When, that matter of fact, it might have came out that day, he said his God will hit belly with that ice cream. When you stubborn, that means you don't respect nor honor any other authority other than your own. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I want to do, what I think matters. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter what you instructed. My authority is all that matters. My way is all that matters. You know what I'm saying? That's very, very dangerous. Because he said this is a stiff-necked people. So he had already stated in his chapter, he said this is a stiff-necked people. This is a rebellious people. Lying children. Stubborn children. Who will not hear the law of Yah. So we already idolatrous on that alone. Because we want to do what we want to do. Which means our minds are already defiled and impure off the rip. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to turn around and look at something. This is what he hot for. Y'all did what y'all wanted to do. Why? Because you thought I wasn't coming. Remember we read that last night. What he say? But if that the servant of his Lord say, my Lord delay is coming. Let me eat and drink and beat the men servants and the maid servants. That's what they doing. What you think they doing in the world right now? Hold on. I call for Matthew 24:11. Let's get that. Hold it, Exodus 32. Because he said it was violence in the earth during the time of Noah. The way of y'all had been corrupted. Sin running around everywhere. I wonder if we see the same thing in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know. All you got to do is look at the word. You can see the similitude. You ain't got time to be playing. You know what I'm saying? We know full well, man, this thing wrapping up because you seeing, you know, it was always sin in the earth and all that type of stuff. But now stuff, you looking at stuff like, really? All the time, regular. Just was an earthquake in the Solomon Islands, 7.5 point on the Richter scale. You know what I'm saying? You know, dudes already talking about that shooting in Chattanooga probably was a hoax. Who knows? Probably was. You know what I'm saying? I don't really get caught up in all that type of stuff too tough, man, because you mess around and you look at that stuff, man. If not at the same time, we know it's not beyond them to do it. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me know where it possibly could be when it was going down and I heard this term, active shooter. When I hear that term there, because when 9/11 went down, they said there was a drill going on at the same time that the planes were supposed to be hijacked. That let me know ain't no planes never left the ground. You know what I'm saying? They just made a Hollywood production to make you believe that these planes left the ground. Because they readily acknowledged that there was a terrorist drill going on at the same time. They readily acknowledged there was a drill going on at the same time that Sandy Hook supposed to got shot up. They readily acknowledged a drill was going on in London during 7/7 when that thing got blew up. But I think they really got them people on that one, though. You know what I'm saying? I think they really got them on that one. That one there, they might have got them. Just on the simple fact that usually when these events happen, it's always still photos. It's never really nothing live. You can tell when they interview these people who's supposed to be witnesses, there's no real human emotion in it either. Because I just seen one of them interviews with the people at the Chattanooga thing, and them people were laughing. She said, what do you got to say to the victims? And the lady went to laughing. Like, if you just seen somebody get shot and killed, I don't think laughing would be one of the things that you would do. Because if you got arrested, or let me put it this way, if you were interrogated for somebody's murder, say your husband or your wife, and you responded in that fashion, then people would know that you were guilty and they would press you real, real hard. Because that's not synonymous with grief. Even if you knew them people or not. I know if any one of y'all witnessed a mass shooting and somebody interviewed you about it, and they asked you what you want to say to the families of the victims, that I don't think you would start laughing as you began to speak on that. Like they had stupid, retarded grins on their face. And then we also know, you've seen it, you know, we trip out it all the time. Buddy from Sandy Hook, when he pulled the Bill Clinton. You know what I'm saying? Dying laughing. And when that camera came on, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So you can't never put that stuff past these people. But it show you their corruptness and what the type of levels of the things that they are willing to do. Because trust me and believe, it's not beyond them to murder innocent people. You know what I'm saying? They'll show you that they have no problem doing it. But they also show you they had no problem lying to you. You know, I done told y'all this before, you know you can't trust nobody tell you that 4 grown men hijacked the airplane with a box cutter. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere in the world you ought to believe that. Nowhere in the world you ought to believe the airplane crashed in Pennsylvania and there is no remnants of any wreckage whatsoever. Nobody ain't found it. You know what I'm saying? Where is it at? You know what I'm saying? The crater that it left in the ground didn't even go with the size of the airplane that's supposed to land it there. Like, we not talking about no conspiracy theory stuff. We talking about just use some common sense and look at what they showing you. These people told you a building collapsed on itself. When anybody just open up any type of book and see the temperature it takes to burn steel, jet fuel gets nowhere near as hot to do it. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember the exact temperature. I think it's got to take 3,200 degrees Fahrenheit to burn steel. I think jet fuel top out at 1,800. How is that possible? How is that possible? We're missing 1,400 degrees of temperature here, sir. We're missing that. You know what I'm saying? And then the buildings fell straight down. They should have fell at an angle from where the plane hit it at. I knew it was a demolition when I seen it. I watched enough stadiums to get blown up to know a demolition when I seen one. You know what I'm saying? But it's just stuff like that there, though. At the same time, though, that wasn't no hoax because a lot of people really died. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people really died. They didn't fake that. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times what we call fake shootings is they've been done did something and they've been done sent one of their own people in there and they've been done killed these people for real. You know what I'm talking about? And then find somebody and blame it on them. And then run some niggas out there to just tell some old cockamamie story. Because some of these stories, these people coming up dead. Somebody killed them. You know what I'm saying? But it just go to show you how they corrupt their way over the whole earth. All the wars being fought all over the whole earth. You go look at the Netherlands over there, they got weed on display. You can go get your prostitute right in the window. You know what I'm saying?
Top choice.
Niggas say top choice like he wanted to go over there. Niggas say he was dreaming for years. He said, I don't even smoke weed. I'm giving one of them hoes, though. You know what I'm saying? You know I got to mess with you. But, I mean, if we was to sit back and look at any country on earth, they corrupted the way of y'all. I don't care where you at. It ain't just America. The only reason why we think about America is because we are here. You know what I'm saying? We have no idea what they do in London. We have no idea what's going on in Spain. You don't know what's going on in Laos. You don't know what's going on in China. You don't know what's going on in Cuba. You're not there. I was talking to that dude who I told you, he said his girlfriend in from Jamaica. He was like, ain't no sisters in Jamaica. I said, I bet it's a gang of punks in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Make you think ain't no punks in Jamaica. What would make what would make Jamaica exempt from having punks in it?
They ain't as open and free as they is.
Yeah, that's what I told him. They just ain't open with it. But they there, because punks everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? You're not going to get away from it because I'm going to go there. They ain't going to teach my kid homosexuality. I say, but look here, man. They going to put this stuff across the whole earth. You think we just going to skip over Jamaica? We ain't going to teach them about that there. These people take over how they want it, man. It's going to be everywhere. You're not going to be able to stand on y'all's word nowhere and not face consequences or repercussions for it. But see, people don't believe that that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But they steady showing you day by day in this earth the hatred that they have for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? They hate everything he buy. Don't come up here and tell me I can't lie and fornicate. You know what I'm saying? These people, when we turn around and say we whoop our children because our power tell us to do it, well, what type of evil, sadistic, vindictive God would tell you to be the child? All right. I'm going to just step away from the conversation. Y'all know that's how the white folk go to talking when you tell them spare the rod, spoil the child.
Not only white folks.
Well, I mean, but where you think they got it from? Because ain't no black folk come up with that on their own. Man, the only time black folks say something about getting beaten churn is if they got beat and they didn't like it, or they've been sitting around these white folks over here in this country and they done bid on that nonsense they was selling. They're like, I was talking to Will's cousin yesterday. She said, I told her what you used to tell me that at FCCJ and all these colleges, they basically turning people away from y'all. She go to FAM. She said, this is what they do at FAM. Black college come at you with that African spirituality. Now all these niggas turn around talking about they Egyptians, getting Satan looking in a little boy booty hole tattooed on their body, getting pyramid tattooed on their body. If you ain't know that's what the Irish horse wore, that's what he was doing. Picking for the butt. He like this here. Where's he? No, they're best with you. They put a circle around him. He's looking through a rectum. All you gotta do check out Lester Crowley. He tell you about it. That's where we learned it from. That's where we got it from. Lester Crowley, that dude, when Jay-Z had the hoodie on, do it that will.
I know who that is.
Yeah, he pretty much said, yeah, the eye horse is basically, hey, Satan looking through the rectum of a young boy. You know what I'm saying? But when you see it, when you see that type of information, you be like, man, them people could. But these are the Egyptians who all these niggas want to follow. All these niggas want to follow around Suit and Seti and Polite and all the rest of these niggas. Did what you following? Pedophiles and homosexuals. The screw Polite, that nigga Shaka almost wear blouses.
Well, what?
Blouses.
Gay.
Blouses. With a braided weave ponytail. Nigga bald headed with a braided weave ponytail with a blouse on. Yeah, he like a nigga to pull in that booty, old sweet nigga. Talking about he the Hebrew killer.
What's the dude over the new obvious?
Well, that Dr. York playing with the little kids. One thing, I'm telling you like this here, man, I wouldn't care, hey, man, if the feds come at you, that's one thing, right? But boy, I told y'all about this the other day. That man got convicted and pled guilty on 130 counts of child molestation. And boy, I wouldn't care what I would teach it. Oh, I'm not copping to that if I didn't do that. You gonna have to give me all that time. So you gotta get to. I'm going to trial. You offering me a century and a half, and I'm gonna plea out to that. I'm going. We gotta be like Mr. Big, man. Put your 12, man. Take this thing to trial. Cause I'm going. Cause I'm going. I wouldn't care if you was offering a year and a day. I ain't did that.
Yeah, we messed up.
And then niggas make excuses for him. They lied on Dr. York. They ain't lied on nothing. He took that. That man said, I touched that young girl. I played with that young boy.
You don't get blamed for something 130 times and you ain't did at least once, bro.
You know what I'm talking about?
130 times, bro, you done did something, bro. Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Once or twice.
But I'm just sitting here telling you though, it's just the type of stuff they got going on in their culture. You know what I'm saying? Then they try to turn around and try to say we took everything from them. We ain't took nothing from y'all. Y'all like little boys. Your God like little boys. Your God like little boys. So if your God like little boy, guess what you like? You know what I'm saying? If your God is a faggot, guess what you are? If your God is a necrophiliac, guess what you are?
That word?
You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what a necrophiliac is, that's a nigga like to have sex with dead bodies.
Whoa. They out here.
Oh, you ain't know ISIS like to have sex with dead bodies? I done told y'all that before. All she found, Isis, all she found was his penis. And not Nimrod, that's Osiris. All she found was Osiris' penis and had sex with it. That's where Horus came from. That's why they try to say that's the immaculate conception that Yeshua is based off of. They ain't gonna go into the story and tell you they cut up Osiris in 12 pieces. The only piece Isis found was his penis, and she went and had sex with just his penis, which is the obelisk, which is that old Washington Monument, old bull penis, and she produced Horus. See, that Washington Monument is Osiris, and that reflecting pool in front of it is Isis. You know what I'm saying? Them people freaks. You got niggas we know now walk around here with onks on. You got a penis and a vagina around your neck, nigga. Ain't got the nerve to talk about a Christian having a cross around his neck, and you got a schwack and a vagina around yours.
And you worship the woman.
We don't even want to get into the God worship, nigga. You got a penis around your neck. Let's just deal with that. And you gonna tell me this man way ain't corrupt on the earth? You got a penis around your neck. You are literally a grown man walking around with a nigga schlong on your neck. Niggas got nigga schlongs tattooed on their body.
That man's slow.
These niggas, you know, because they wanted to swing back and forth. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to swing back and forth, nasty bastard. Then you sit back and look at this here, right? Same time now, niggas get arcs tattooed on their body. An arc is that cross you see with the circle on top. And then the line in the middle, that's a vagina and a penis. That's a vagina and a penis. You know how many niggas out here got that tattooed on their body? Nigga got a penis on you, boy. Now let that sink. You let that marinate in your brain. Nigga, a grown man talking about he don't like boys got a nigga penis tattooed on. Niggas got obelisks tattooed on their body. You got a bull penis on your arm, nigga.
They got what?
A bull penis.
No,
An obelisk. This is a Washington Monument.
Oh.
That's a bull penis. A phallic symbol, so, is the proper term to use. It's a phallic symbol. See, they were worshippers of sex organs. You know what I'm saying? They were worshippers of sex organs.
Watch out.
That nigga got an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dang right. It's called two daughters, nigga. That's my issue.
No, I'm talking about her. There's something wrong with that nigga. Then you look at Islam. Look at Islam. What is that? But more Babylonian pagan sun worship, more homosexual worship. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we already know that. I just told y'all the other day, man. You can knock a sheep down. I told him that. We were riding. I seen the Try Muhammad billboard. I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad say, knock that sheep down. Pay no woman round. Your wife ain't round, you can bust that sheep down.
Yup. Whole team.
That's the slogan too, huh?
That's the slogan. Ramshack it. Just like your wife. She feels it just the same. Ramshack it. That's how they live. But guess what? Behind Christianity, Islam is the biggest religion on the earth. That's the biggest religion on the earth. So that nonsense is everywhere. Come on, man. It's a big old mosque right there on St. John Bluff. You can see them old Arab walking all the time. Got their turbans on and their garments. They be happy every Friday afternoon. They be out there deep. You know it got to be serious. They got a billboard for the nigga on Beach Boulevard. Why Islam? I think it say try Muhammad.
Try Muhammad.
Try Muhammad. But like I told y'all know what Muhammad into, right? Besides the bestiality, y'all know what Muhammad in. They say to follow the Quran because the Quran got the Bible in it. But what was Muhammad into? Little girl. Let's look at Genesis 37. Let's see if Jews do that. Let's see if we do that. Mess with little girl. He married a 9-year-old. He said he tapped her when she was 11. Say she waited until she turned 11. Whole way corrupted on the whole earth. I'm going to follow a prophet like little girl. Genesis 38, pardon me. Genesis 38:2. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua. And he took her and went unto her. She conceived and bare a son, and he called his name And she conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. He was at Chezid when she bare him. Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of Yah, and Yah slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, go into thy brother's wife and marry her, and raise up a seed to thy brother. Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass, when he went unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give his seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased Yah, wherefore he slew him also. Why was Onan killed?
Because he didn't do what he didn't give the seed to his brother.
He didn't do what Yah said. He didn't raise it. Because you know a lot of people see seed, that's a sin for you to spill your seed. But we know all the way you ain't got no business doing that. You married, just go ahead and let it go where it go. But what, you know what I'm talking about? Just let it go where it go. But you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about, but you know, I don't watch episodes of Law and Order where they done said that. But, you know, in the Bible it says it's a sin to spill your seed. He didn't say him spilling the seed was a sin. Now I told you to do that. You knew this wasn't going to be your child. So what you actually tried to do was have sex with this woman, and then you thought you could just do that continually. I can hit her, spill my seed. I can still come back and hit her, spill my seed. Oh no, I'm going to go ahead and stop you right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stop you right now. You know how many dudes will pull stunts like that? They can get away with it. Oh, I can still have sex with her, but I ain't got to have with a baby. Because the baby ain't going to be mine. Listen to what he say. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah my son be grown. For he said, lest peradventure he die also as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. So you see what it said? Till it be grown. You ain't get no little boy. Come on back to Matthew 24. You ain't finna get no little boy. That's how you know Islam full of crap. This man, the main prophet married a 9-year-old. And nobody has a problem with that. And as I've told y'all before, they marry 8-year-olds over there in the Middle East right now.
They married 6-year-olds. Y'all thought he had married a 6-year-old and then ended up killing her. Talking about she done committed adultery.
That's horrible. I don't even know what to say to that. That's horrible. How can a 6-year-old commit adultery? What is a 6-year-old even thinking about penis for? Why is your nasty behind saying, you know what? That 6-year-old looks great.
That's the one for me. A 6-year-old.
That's the one for me right there. I think she could give me some good loving and be a good housewife.
What about bro who got life for raping the 83-year-old woman the other week?
Well, that nigga just sick. That's just sick right there, want to rape an 83-year-old woman. Because you ain't got no business raping nobody. But at the same time, she's not 6. You know what I'm saying? See, we ain't even talking about raping nobody. We talking about a grown man actively pursuing marriage with a first grader. Now you let that sink in your brain. A grown man actively pursuing marriage with a first grader. This man's way is corrupted, because we already sit back. His way don't prescribe that. Wait till she grown. You know what I'm saying? If that's who you supposed to marry, wait till she grown. You know what I'm saying? You had some niggas say, there's nowhere in the Bible where it says 18 is grown. Come on, man, have some discretion, bro.
Yes, it do. Yes, it do.
You know what I'm saying? But our whole point is, have some discretion, though. Because you got these niggas saying from 1 Corinthians chapter 7, when she passed the flower of her age, so when she hit her period, you can get her. You can get her. What type of, so if she hit her period at 9, you gonna lay with a nigga? Because it seems like these young girls' periods get earlier and earlier from then when we were young.
It's the food.
You know what I'm saying? They used to hit about 12, 13 in our youth. Now they talking about 8, 9, 10 years old. So you finna go lay with them. You nasty nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's Israel. You got some Israelites push that. Go on and get her, she hit her period. Now I wouldn't care how old she was, man. I'm gonna wait. Something wrong with you, man. It's got to be something wrong with a grown man mind that he looks at a young girl and finds her to be sexually attractive. Your mind something got to be wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to turn around and try to say, Yah, the power of heaven and earth, stamp that? No, buddy. I ain't going for that. Come on, man. Matthew 24 and 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Come over here to 2 Peter chapter 2, if I'm not mistaken. That's the same thing you see going off in the earth. The love of iniquity. That's why ain't nobody got no love for each other. You know what I'm saying? Because sin is rampant. God only himself knows what some of these people do in these other countries. You know what I'm saying? I think, matter of fact, I just seen somebody reference this dude the other day. Credo Moutoir. Hey, mate, so that's what I want. With old Noah. Any of y'all ever heard of Credo Moutoir? He ain't nobody impressive enough. Any of y'all ever heard of David Icke? You know what I'm saying? Now, I heard of David Icke when I was incarcerated in 2005. Niggas I knew, they had his books. He got all these books, you know, The Greatest Story Ever Told, The Matrix. He got one chapter in one of his books. He say, don't talk about the 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 3, or verse 4. He say, don't talk about the reptilians. You know, they'll tell you it's some reptilian type creatures walking up under the earth, and they gonna come up and eat everybody, and all this whole type of crazy stuff. Talking about some of the politicians you see, they actually reptilians. Nigga, they ain't no reptilians. They just demonically possessed people, if anything. And some of them ain't even demonically possessed. They just naturally wicked. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think George H.W. Bush got a demon in him. I just think he's a rotten bastard. You know what I'm saying? They do little stuff. Look at the eyes.
Yeah, that shit, they flicking.
They flicking. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't get me wrong. Some of them could have a demon in them.
in high school, I ain't gonna lie.
You know what I'm saying? But I read a lot of this man's books. You know what I'm saying? There was an African Zulu shaman. His name is Credo Moutoir. The nigga had a necklace with a reptilian creature with a penis big as Kingston. Straight up. What? This nigga is walking around with a necklace. A necklace with a being on it whose penis is about this here big. And I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to you. You got a necklace with a nigga swag on it. And you wear it openly.
This is him.
You know what I'm saying? What they say is that reptilians came down and had sex with the women. They basically trying to parallel it how some of these niggas teach that angels had sex with women in Genesis chapter 6. See, but thank the Lord, we know them ain't angels in Genesis chapter 6. We know them the sons of Seth. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying here, telling you though, it's a lot of stuff be going out here, man. Niggas say, go check out. What I'm going to listen to David Icke for? I wouldn't tell none of y'all to look none of this stuff up because your brain might be blown. If you ain't never seen it, don't even go looking for it. Don't even worry about it. I'm telling you, I done read all the man's stuff. The only stuff that he ever wrote that was any good was stuff on masonry. Because he don't deal with y'all, period. You know what I'm saying? He blasphemes on the regular. Telling you Hamashiach ain't nothing but the sun and the disciple 12 zodiac signs and all this old crazy type stuff. Man, get out my face, Mr. White Man, before I slap you with that same book you just wrote. And guess who he hang with?
Alistair.
He hang with Alex Jones. So you know he full of crap.
They used that when the Mashiach was going there and bro was pouring the bucket of water. Mm. See, that's going from the age of the Pisces.
Oh yeah, age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, the water bearer. See, we going in the transition. We going. What they say? What's the word they use? What's the word that they use? We going in the paradigm shift.
Yeah, so it's new gods coming.
Paradigm shift.
You know what I'm saying? That's when the new gods come in. Cause basically all they trying to do is promote deism, which is all what Satan is trying to promote. That you can make yourself God. That you have no need for no power, no savior, no salvation. And you sit there, and it's all going back to what we're looking at from what they did in Exodus 32, making themselves idols, and Genesis chapter 6. This man in way is corrupt on the whole earth. I got to come see you. You know what I'm saying? And what we looking at is you got to make yourself ready. That you don't get caught up with that. You know what I'm talking about? Man, these people around here playing games, man. I'm telling you, man. You see some of y'all because y'all wasn't. You ain't even really got like it. Just ain't even got nothing to do because we was conspiracy theorists and stuff like that. Niggas just read. You know what I'm saying? And we read a lot of stuff, so we was already familiar with who some of these dudes is, because information we done seen prior, we happen to see your name, so then you come down years later, you see the person's name, you inquire in their stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Then we sit back looking at something like, me not knowing the word, I ain't really buying a lot of the stuff he was talking about in the book, because the stuff was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got the 40 other saviors like Jesus. Oh, Hercules. And they naming all these people. But like I done told you before, when you actually research these people's stories, they're nothing like the Lord's ever, period. Not even close. Not Mithras, not Zoroaster, not Horus, none of them. None of them. The story who they mimic is that other Yeshua who these pagan house of worshipers preach. That's who they mimic. Because it's the same power. It's the same false deity. They just put a different name on it. Now you can see, especially the major difference on why you got that shift of moving. Just let them have Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't even want that doctrine that go along with it. You don't want to, especially when you preaching the true one or talking about the true one, you don't want them to get entangled. So we're going to let you have that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't even got to go through all them stuff, Jesus mean pig, because I know dudes that go through all that. I ain't even go through all that. It's just the fact the doctrine that go along with him is not the same doctrine of the truth. If I mention his real name, that sets him apart greatly from what you talking about. That's the same way ain't no Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who that is. The doctrine of Yahweh is different. For some of them niggas, Yahweh, you can rape a young girl. You know what I'm saying? With Yahweh, you can cuss a nigga out. Yahweh, you can fight the street. Yahweh, you can beat up your wife. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh say you can have as many wives as you want. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh say you can be a drunk and smoke weed too. You can do all that. Yahweh say you can sin, and that's where the grace come in. Yahweh ain't nothing but a poor man Jesus. That's all he is. That's all he is. He just an Israelite Jesus. That's all he is. Same false deities, same false doctrine. 2 Peter 2 and 4. He say, for if Elohim spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved under judgment, and spared not the old world. Y'all know you sit back and look at something. There's something that came to my mind. Just hold on. And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. So if Noah was a preacher of righteousness, that means he had to been out there preaching the word. He had to been speaking of the way. Y'all said he was a just man, perfect in his generations. So when we see that he a just man, perfect in his generations, for him to find grace in the eyesight of y'all, that means he had to be out there standing on the word. Because where Peter going to get this basis from? Because you can't read nowhere in the word where it actually say Noah preached anything. But the fact that we know he was a just man, if he was a just man, that means he knew the way of Yah. If he knew the way of Yah, you know he had to speak it. Because he said in Psalms 1:16 and 15, I believe, therefore I speak. So you know he spoke it. But look at what he said, the old world. Come on back over here to stay in the same chapter. Because something just came to my mind. In verse 5 of the 3rd chapter of this epistle of Peter, he say the old world was flooded on the ungodly. Something just come to my mind. Y'all just bear with me. We're going to get to the conclusion of this stuff that we started with, but something just come to my mind. He say, for this they willingly were ignorant of, that by the word of Elohim the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. Whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. But the heavens and the earth which are now by the same word are kept in store, reserved under fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. I'm going to ask y'all a question. He say the earth that was made before was standing out of the water and in the water. He say that old world was destroyed by water. What can we get at? So that means the world before, during Noah's time, had to be old. That means the world that came after Noah had to be what? New. So what can we sit back and look at that if the world before Noah and the flood were old, but the world after the Noah was old? Absolutely.
And then the next one's fire.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be destroyed twice.
Absolutely. So when we sit back and we look at a similitude of the flooding, of that old world, we sitting looking at that, we ought to be dying to that old man and coming out new on the end like Noah wore. See, come back over here to 1 Peter chapter 3. About verse 18. That's going again, right? We know that getting baptized won't give you a pure mind, won't put away the filth of the flesh, but it give you a strong conscience towards Elohim, like he told John the Baptist, suffer it be to fulfill all righteousness. You know what I'm saying? For Hamashiach also once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to Elohim, being put to death in the flesh, but being quickened by the Spirit. We sit back and look at it, right? Noah in that ark, right? It was standing out of the water. What did he say? What did we see? Look what Peter say. Say the earth was standing out of the water and in the water. When we look at the ark, it was standing out of the water, but in the water at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? We look at, I'm going to show you something at the same time with that, meaning he able to pass through, having an ark of safety. Because we know Hamashiach is the ark of safety. We know he is similitude of the Noah's ark. A place of refuge in a time of danger. Why did Noah have that place of refuge in a time of danger? Because Yah told him to prepare it. Get it ready, because this coming. You know what I'm talking about? And did you see what Noah did? Not going to wait till next week to start. Not going to wait till next month to start. I'm going to start right now. You know what I'm saying? So when the rain came, guess what happened?
Shut them doors.
He was ready. He shut them doors. And guess what happened? Noah, Noah, let us in. Depart from me, you work of iniquity. I never knew you. I don't know you. You can't get on. It's too late. You weren't wise. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because Yah told him, son, he was ready. You know what I'm saying? That's what remember I told y'all last night. Being prepared is the way of Yah. Being unprepared is not of Yah. Yah don't operate that way. You know what I'm saying? Yah don't operate springing stuff on you at the last minute. He tell you well ahead of time what he gonna do before he do it. He might tell you something that don't execute it for 3-4 generations. But I told you what I was gonna do before I did it. You know what I'm saying? So you'll have ample warning. See, that's the, and you know what else that give you a chance to do? Prepare. To prepare. So you can get ready. You know what I'm talking about? When you sit back and look at it, he say, he told Solomon, I'm going to destroy, I'm going to snatch it out, but I ain't going to do it in your generation. I'm going to do it in your sons. What he told Hezekiah, get your house in order, you finna die. I'm going to give you some time to get stuff in order before I kill you. He said, oh, spare me. He said, I'm going to add to you about 15, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit back and look at that, man. Every single time, Lord will, we're going to look at it this afternoon. He prepared a body for Hamashiach. He prepared a city for this man. He even prepared 12 men to work with him. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff set in place before he even got there. So when he came, work is seamless. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got to be going on. So what we going to do next? I don't know. Give me 20 minutes to figure it out. Even with the land was prepared before we went into it. Even with New Jerusalem, it's prepared before it even come down. It's already ready. So you got to guess what you got to do. You got to get ready. Leah gonna help you out there. Guess not. Where we at? All right, Lizzie. So we look at verse 19. Your sister gonna give you something. She's nice like that. He said, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, which sometime were disobedient when the once long suffering of Elohim waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls, were saved by water. The like figure whereunto even baptism doth also now save us, not putting away the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience towards Elohim by the resurrection of Yeshua HaMashiach, who is gone into heaven and is on the right hand of Elohim, angels and authorities and powers being made subject unto him. Now we know when Moses was doing his thing, he was the one running the show. Now, of course, angels weren't subject unto him, but the whole dominion of Israel was subject unto him. They had to listen to Moses. You know what I'm saying? Now let's come back over here to Romans chapter 6, because this is what we're sitting back looking at. Old world, new world. So when we look at the old world being destroyed because of the corruptness of the way of Yah on the earth, He had to make a new way. We have to sit back and look at that. That's what we need to be looking at. We need to be coming out of the old world into a new world. From an old way into a new way. Meaning your mind's got to be purged. It's got to be clean. It's got to be washed. Your mind got to be cleansed. It's got to be made pure. See, the first world wasn't pure. So you don't need to sit back and realize the man used water to purify it. So the next time what I'm going to use to purify it is fire.
Yeah, that's too much.
See, I don't know portion control yet, Pops. I don't know portion control. Romans 6 and about verse 1. Calm down. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Elohim forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that as many of us were baptized into Yeshua HaMashiach were baptized into his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Mashiach was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we should also walk in newness of life. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall also be in the likeness of his resurrection. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. For he that is dead is freed from sin. We sit back and look at it. He used that water to destroy all the corruptness on the earth. And those that were in the ark, they in essence died. And when they came up out of the ark, they were freed from that death, or freed from sin, as a similitude of that. Because we see what happened after that happened. He put a bow in the sky and he made Noah an Elohim. You know what I'm saying? We sit back and look at a Mashiach coming up out the grave as a new creature made after the likeness of his father, and he became Elohim. Y'all feel what I'm talking about? Hold on, it's something else. Hold on, what up, boy? It'll come back to my mind in a second. Come over here to Joshua chapter 4 and verse 1. Lord will, it'll come right back to me.
Get your hands out your mouth.
Say it's good, Pops, it's good. Say it's good. Joshua 4 and 1. I'm going to ask y'all this question again. Anybody know what the name Jordan means? River of peace, the river of righteousness. Joshua 4 and 1. And it came to pass when all the people were clean passed over Jordan, that Yah spake unto Yeshua, saying, take you 12 men out of the people, every tribe a man. Why is the Most High Yah telling Joshua son of Nun, go get you 12 men? He's sitting here telling them, go get 12 men. Let's see what he's telling them to go get 12 men for. And command you them, saying, take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones. And you shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place, where you shall lodge this night. Now we could go back up one. Go back up to chapter 3, because he said, go to the place where the priest stood. I'm going to see who remember this here in verse 1, so y'all can see where it's come from, because you need to know every element of what's going on. Joshua rose up early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. And it came to pass after 3 days, the officers went through the host.
Let it go.
And they commanded the people, saying, when you see the ark of the covenant of Yah your Elohim, and the priests the Levites bearing it, then you shall remove from your place and go after it. Who remembers what that is? We went through that a long time ago.
Is that dealing with Yeshua coming out of the grave in the early morning, and they go and telling them where to go?
Anybody? That's what Corey got. Anybody else got something? I'm going to ask y'all a question, right? In the first chapter of John, what did John the Baptist say when he saw Yeshua? He said, there go the Lamb of Elohim, right? And then you know Simon Peter and his brother, they walked with John the Baptist. But when they said that, what did they do after they seen the Mashiach? They went after him. You got to remember, John the Baptist is the priest who paved the way, the Levite, who were bearing the Ark of the Covenant, telling you there's a man coming behind me that's greater than me. They say when you see the Levites bearing the Ark of the Covenant, go after it. When they seen John the Baptist say, they go to Lamb of Elohim. They went after it. Because remember, Hamashiach is the Ark of the Covenant. They went after it. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be doing the same thing. When we see the Ark of the Covenant, which is the throne, which is, because you know, the Ark of the Covenant is symbolizing the throne of Yah. Meaning the king. When they seen the king, they went after him. We're supposed to be doing the same thing. Going wherever he go. He said, where I am, my servant shall be also. And he's saying, where my servant be, I shall honor him, and my Father shall honor him also. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to go where Hamashiach is, you're going to do what Hamashiach did. I mean, you're going to prepare yourself. Even when we look at David, even though he was told he wasn't going to build the house, he still made preparations for the house to be built. That's how it happens to you. So let's look at verse 5. Listen what he tell him. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow Yah will do wonders among you. And Joshua spake unto the priest, saying, take up the Ark of the Covenant and pass over before the people. And they took up the Ark of the Covenant and went before the people. And Yah said unto Joshua, this day will I begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. And thou shalt command the priests that bear the Ark of the Covenant, saying, when you are come to the brink of the water of Jordan, you shall stand still in Jordan. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, come hither and hear the words of Yah your Elohim. Look what he told them. He say, Joshua say, tell the priests, take up the Ark of the Covenant and go before the people, and I will do wonders with you. Let's look at Acts 10 and 38.
Leah, hush it up.
Boy, it's about time for another. Make it 36. Acts 10 and 36. The word which Elohim sent unto the children of Israel, preaching peace by Yeshua HaMashiach, he is Lord of all. That word I say you know, which was published throughout all Judea, and began from Galilee after the baptism which John preached. How Elohim anointed Yeshua of Nazareth with the Ruach HaKodesh and with power. Did not Yah tell Moses to put his hands on Joshua, son of Nun, and anoint him with power in front of all the people? Who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil, for Elohim was with him. And we are witnesses of all things which he did, both in the land of the Jews and in Jerusalem, whom they slew and hanged on a tree. Come in. Him Elohim raised up the third day and showed him openly, not to all the people, but unto witnesses chosen before Elohim, even to us who did eat and drink with him after he rose from the dead. And he commanded us to preach unto the people and to testify that it is he which was ordained of Elohim to be the judge of the quick and dead, to give all the prophets witness, that through his name whosoever believe in him shall receive remission of sins. Now we're going to sit back and we're going to look at something, right?
Let's get out.
Now we're not going to read all the things, but you know there were many wonders that Joshua, son of Nun, worked, didn't he? Yeah. He made the sun stand still, said it was the only time y'all ever hearkened to the voice of a man. You know what I'm saying? We about to read how the Jordan River was split. You know what I'm saying? He worked wonders with Joshua, son of Nun, just like he worked wonders with Yeshua. So you could know that Yah was with him, just like Yah was with Moses. Because he said, if you would have believed Moses, you would have believed me, because he wrote of me. You understand what I'm saying? Then the priests bearing the Ark of the Covenant going before the people. These men already knew the word before the people did. They went first. The apostles went in before everybody else. Who got a testimony of Mashiach first? Who went before the Ark of the Covenant first? They did. They did. You know what I'm saying? He specifically told them, y'all go first. That's why he said we are type. Look at Romans chapter 8. We type of first fruits of his creatures. Somebody got a lot of noise going on. Need to do something with it. Romans 8 and 20. Get out of it. Go sit down, Stanks. Don't go back that way. Walk around. Walk around, Leah. So the little nimbleness there. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption unto the glorious liberty of the children of Elohim. For we know that the whole creation groan and travail in pain together until now. And not only they, but also ourselves, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope. But hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man see, why doth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then we do with patience wait for it. Even though we don't see a Mashiach coming at this time, we got to wait for it because we believe he's going to come back. But then we sit back and look at what the man say, we that are the first fruits of the Spirit. Like Paul said in another place, the first fruits of his creation. You know what I'm saying? The first people to get it.
Hush it up.
They were the first people to understand and see that. The 12 were the first. What would say the 11? Because the 12, who remembers when the 12th man was added?
Afterwards.
Huh? What you say, Corey?
I said afterwards.
He was added, but I'm talking about where afterwards, Corey.
Acts 2. Acts 2, I'm guessing.
Acts chapter 1. Y'all was right. It's Acts chapter 1 when he was added. Remember it said it was 120 men standing right there? And they cast lots and it fell on Matthias. That's how you know it was more people walking with the master than just the 12. You know what I'm saying? It was only 12 that were chosen. We know why, because Joshua, y'all just told him, go get your 12 men. Just like we know King Solomon had him 12 princes. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, a brother asked me about that, but they never got with me talking about, can you see the 12 disciples in the Old Testament? Yeah, they there. Yeah, they there. They got to be there. It's got to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? You think this man just going to walk up and say, you know what? I'm going to pick you 12. Why did he pick them? Come on back to Joshua's house. Y'all all right this afternoon? Back to Joshua chapter 4. Now we're going to read verse 1 again. Now after that there he tell him to stand in the, that those 12 men. Well, let's look at 3 and 12 first, since we keep referencing. Now therefore take ye 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, and of every tribe a man. It shall come to pass as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of Yah, the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above, and they shall stand upon a heap. It came to pass when the people removed from their tents to pass over Jordan, the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people, and they that bear the ark were come under Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped in the brim of the water. For Jordan overflow all his banks all the time of harvest. That the water which came down from above stood and rose up upon a heap very far from the city of Adam, that is beside Zaratan, and those that came down towards the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, failed and were cut off, and the people passed right against Jericho. And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of Yah stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Jordan, and all the Israelites passed over on dry ground, until all the people were passed clean over Jordan. So what that sound like to y'all? What happening again by the hand of Joshua? It's like when Moses split the Red Sea, and as Corey just said, there's baptism again. So that means he baptized the people again. Because we know in the 5th chapter, when you get to the 5th chapter, he circumcised the people again. You know what I'm saying? Again, showing the people come, because they came up out of the wilderness. They went in the wilderness and got baptized when they were disobedient, still in sin and still in death. So when they came out of sin, he baptized them again, and then he circumcised them again to show you how this man will consecrate a new and living way. You know what I'm saying? We have to sit back and see that's the whole purpose of us dealing with the word, is becoming new. Those that are in Yeshua HaMashiach, old things are passed away. They are a new creature. You know what I'm saying? That means who you was and who you are should be drastically different. I ain't talking about I modified a couple behaviors or threw a couple behaviors away. A complete and total transformation, a renewing of the mind. That's what we just looked at it and on Wednesday, right? At Psalm 51, right? Created me a clean heart, a new heart. You know what I'm saying? You desire truth in the inward parts. Purge me with hyssop and I shall be clean. You know what I'm saying? We looking for the word to purge our mind, make it clean. That's what it's about right there. That means you would make your house a place ready for him to dwell in, wouldn't it? Thank the Lord. 4 and 2 of Joshua. I ain't call you, boy. Take ye 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe of man, and command you them, saying, take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones. You shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place where you shall lodge this night. Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel out of every tribe of man. Joshua said unto them, pass over before the ark of Yah your Elohim into the midst of Jordan, and take you up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of tribes of the children of Israel. That this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in the time to come, saying, what mean you by these stones? Then you shall answer them that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of Yah, when it passed over Jordan. And the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. The children of Israel did so as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of Jordan, and as Yah spake unto Joshua according to the numbers of tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them over with them unto the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. And Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests which bear the ark of the covenant stood, and they are there unto this day. So he said that these 12 stones are a memorial for what? That the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant. That the people were able to pass through. And he said that these stones will be a memorial forever. So what do you think this could mean? You would be correct, sir. You would be correct, sir. But before we look at that, let's look at Ephesians 2 and 19, and then Revelation 21. Look at him cheesing. Cheesing. I'll tell you, he was cheesing about you the other day. Yeah, you know, you sitting there cheesing about it the other day. It's all right. He ain't gonna be cheesing tomorrow. You gotta work tomorrow. Oh, we get to kill him the whole time. We get to kill him the whole time. Then hopefully, Lord willing, we come back and try to whoop one of you niggas on some mad. I'm coming for you.
Oh, no, he won that game.
I whooped him easily.
You whooped him, bro?
Man, that nigga couldn't score no points.
Yeah.
Man, that nigga offensive game is garbage.
So you scored.
He only scored. He scored on a pick six. That's all he got. No, or his opening drive, one or two. That's how he got on. He scored one. Oh no, what it was old fluke play at the end. Nigga had him down. He ain't scored nothing. He nigga fumbled the ball. He scored a touchdown. He got something I kicked off to him. He scored a touchdown. He kicked off to me. The nigga fumbled the ball.
Hey, he ain't gonna tell you I 21. So.
Hey man, you got your one. It happens.
He ain't gonna tell you that.
Hey man, look here, man. I've been playing Madden for years, man. You ain't the first nigga. No, nigga, you don't count. You ain't the first nigga beat a nigga 21-0. The main thing you don't want to lose 21-0 when that cash on the line. Boy, I ain't trying to get that nigga twice my money. See, we don't count that there. You talking about you get up by 20. Nigga, it ain't a skunk unless you got 0. You know what I'm saying? See, he say him 21 is you get up by 21 points. That ain't nothing, 'cause I ain't got to pay you twice my money. Boy, it don't matter if it happened in the first quarter, in the fourth quarter. That thing say 21 nothing. Boy, I need double up, homeboy.
Oh, yeah.
I need twice that cash, man. Boy, a nigga would strive for that one there, 'cause that's the lick.
Yeah.
I done bet 100, 200 on this game. Boy, I'm trying to skunk this nigga. Boy, that's 200, 400. I can leave. I ain't even got to play no more. I ain't got to play no more. Boy, nigga used to go for the up, man. My homeboy John that's dead, that nigga knew he couldn't whoop me on NCAA. Always betting. And I skunk him every game. I be like this here, man. Bet 50. Bet. Let me get that 100, man. Bet 100. Let me get them 200, man. Man, I'm about sick of this here, man. Want to bet back? Yeah, I want to bet back, nigga. Absolutely. Again, I'll be hot when he score. I can only get $100 off this nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'll be hot. Boy, I'm trying to skunk this nigga. That was easy money. You know you can't whoop me. Why? You might want to just give me your money. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy Chris, he give me a run now. We used to battle because we knew how we played each other so many times. He knew what I was going to do. I knew what he was going to do. It's just who going to execute it better. It was never no double ups with him. This going all the way from the first to the last. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, all Brown want to do is throw bombs, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's all he want to do. That's an easy nigga to beat. I'm just saying, I've been playing man for years.
Hey, you is too, if you don't get Tom Brady.
Who? Not really.
I told her that. If you don't get Tom Brady,
I can beat anybody without Tom Brady. I'm going to tell you the key thing, what I need to be able to win. You know what I need to be able to win? You know what I'm saying? I got to be able to run the football. If I can't run the football, I can't do everything I want to do.
Nigga, you said run the football and you still got whooped.
No, I ain't run the football with that team I had. Except
the Broncos. Nigga, you run all up and down that field.
Man, that nigga hit one gainer. That nigga broke one. He broke one.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about it because he know, because he don't want me playing. I got to be able, because I don't want, if you know a nigga going to throw the ball, that's easy. That's easy. I got you one-dimensional, that's easy. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know, the nigga can't run, he got to throw it. All I did was blitz this nigga every down. I knew he was going to throw the ball every play. Straight up, I did blitz him, and I sent the house too.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
That nigga ain't talking about me because he got whooped talking about me.
No, I'm saying, oh no, I played with the Packers. I like the Packers because the Packers got a nickel package called Psycho. That's when niggas just standing up, ain't nobody got their hand on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So basically, you don't know where the blitz gonna come from. Man, I just send 6, 7 niggas, man. He gonna be able to get the ball out of there that fast.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to score then. I ain't had no choice.
Man, I was doing it the whole game. Well, I wasn't even nothing like this. I had told you during the course of the game, I'm just gonna blitz till you burn it. You know what I'm saying? If you burn it, I'ma stop. If you don't burn it, I'ma keep on blitzing.
Man, both of them.
That nigga got mad. Hey, he talking that trash, and I'm gonna put them killers on him whooping. He got mad because he talking about, oh, he tried you with the Jaguar. I whooped him with him though.
Yeah, I nigga did try with the Jazz.
I whooped him though.
What? He sure did too.
Yeah, I gave that game up.
Sure did.
I whooped him
That
though.
nigga trash.
Got them killers. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, boy, you don't talk about the boy from Duval County now.
That nigga trash. This nigga's garbage.
I mean that though. Hey, I ride with them killers, man. You know what I'm saying? They got a decent little squad on them. I like it. I like it. I might start playing with them more and more.
15.
Mm-hmm. I like it. You know what I'm saying? They done cut A. Sanders, so we get him off the team now. Yeah, that nigga trash anyway. Come on out and get this thing over with. Ephesians 2:19.
I'm telling you, every time I got the ball, I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? You know, I gotta go check on the food, wait 30 minutes.
Oh, man. But he was, though. Ephesians 2:19. He say he was trying to whip a little something up. He was whipping. He say, now therefore, ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of Elohim, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yeshua HaMashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, and whom all the building fitly framed together grow unto a Kodesh temple in the Lord, whom you also are builded together for a habitation of Elohim through the Spirit. What did this go through to the first thing we looked at, or the second thing we looked at this week? The body being fitly framed. Build it together. Huh? Not to be pure. What did we look at this week that go along with that? If a building is fitly framed, that means it's built together, right? Everything locked in together, right? Then we look at the scales of that Leviathan, and the fish stuck to the scales, all his pride, and they can't be broken apart. You know what I'm saying? Now he tell you to leave these 12 stones as a memorial. He just said that the apostles were foundations. So basically they foundations of a house, of a dwelling place. Because what he told Peter, Peter was the first rock. Upon this stone I'm going to build my house. And this nigga had a nerve to talk about Peter was double-tongued and double-hearted. And was asleep. Yeah, that nigga told me that, man.
And sleep.
And sleep. Say Peter was a baby in the word. He still had some growing to do. Yeah, he said it because I was explaining to him why Peter had his fire on him. Yeah. He talking about, man, he was asleep. He was looking to fight a physical war. I said, well, why the Lord ain't rebuke him for having his fire? He rebuked him for upping his fire. He ain't rebuke him for having it. Matter of fact, the dumb nigga didn't even realize, in Luke 22, he told him to go get it. Say, go get your fire, man. Have that on you. You know what I'm saying? Have your fire on you, man. You building right now, so make sure you got your pistol with you while you work. Remember when Nehemiah told you about it? Yeah, that's me. You know what I'm saying? He kicking. See, Peter was asleep. Double-hearted. I say, boy, double-hearted? You saying Peter double? You said he a sinner. You just said Peter was a sinner. And I say, man, you know a bishop got to be blameless? He said, yeah, but Peter was to be blamed. So you saying he was a sinner? I said, boy, some niggas ain't scared of nothing. Matter of fact, since I said, hold on, before I get Revelation 21:12, since I said that, go back to Ecclesiastes 5, what we were talking about last night. See, that nigga was rash with his mouth. He was rash with his mouth. Well, you can't be around here rash with your mouth, boy. Come tell you, boy, that mouth gets you in trouble. Yeah, that mouth get you killed. Yeah. Look at Ecclesiastes 5:2, and we go straight to verse 6. Be not rash with thy mouth. Let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and thou upon the earth. Therefore let thy words be few. Verse 6. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should Elohim be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hand? Let's look at Matthew 12:37. We still holding Revelation 21. Y'all better watch that stuff you be saying. I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Once you say something out your mouth, boy, you can't take that back. It's out there now. And it's going to get recorded. It's out there now. Make it 35, 34. Matter of fact, let's just go and make it 33. Matthew 12:33. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree corrupt and its fruit corrupt. For the tree is known by its fruit. O generation of vipers, how can ye being evil speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. So you sit back and look at the stuff that come out your mouth. That's what was in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Niggas say what they want to say. That's what was in your heart. You meant that. That's why you said that. He said, a good man out of the good treasure of the heart bring forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bring forth evil things. But I say unto you, hush, boy, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. That's what he just told you. He said, don't suffer your mouth to cause your flesh to sin. So you stand before the angel, say it's an error. Y'all destroy the work of your hand. And sit back and look at it. Be careful what you say out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because Buddy got loose with it. Not only did, okay, one thing, he typed it. But then he called me and said it out his mouth. He said, man, he was double-hearted and double-tongued. I said, boy, how Peter double-tongued? That's when you see him like, what? Yeah, you got to hear what it was. I'm telling you, if you was sitting next to him and nigga said, you been in a mood like this here, like your breath was stank. You know what I'm saying? You know how niggas hit that move when nigga talking to, come on, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Woo, my neck burning. Nigga said, what you were eating? Onions? Doodle? What? What was it?
Onions and doodle. Straight jump.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm getting a little cross of both. You know what I'm saying, though? But all seriousness, though, at the same time, though, Brother Paul had said something to me about it this morning, like, how could he even dare say Peter was weak when all the other disciples fled and Peter was the only one stayed behind? Trying to see what was going to happen. But he was like, Peter was asleep. I'm like, nigga, they all was asleep. None of them knew. I said, you silly nigga, the book say they didn't even know it said that the scripture said the man had to resurrect from the dead. They had no idea about Joseph. They had no idea about Adam. You know what I'm saying? They had no idea. They had no idea what Isaiah had to say about it. They had no idea what 1 Kings had to say about it. They had no idea what Psalms had to say about it, or what Solomon had to say about it, or what Zechariah had to say about it. They didn't know. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even sit back and realize, man, we can't fight right now because Peter, man, of course, Peter was carnal. Of course they were carnal. The Spirit hadn't been given yet. So of course Peter gonna be sent back. Who? That's my Lord. Better nigga don't put his hands on him. That's why as soon as the Lord said it, what you mean? I'll die with you. I'm riding with you. Guess what, man? The Lord knew Peter was going to ride with him. But he had to let him know. Man, the book got to be fulfilled, brother. It's some things got to happen. See, you got to deny me 3 times. You ain't going to know why you got to deny me. But when I raise from the dead, I'm going to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Then you going to understand why that had to happen. You got to be estranged from it. I got to be strange to you. You'll understand when I raise from the dead. You're not going to understand right now if I tell it to you. So it wasn't nothing soft or weak about Peter at all. Peter said, man, look at who? What? And you already known that there. You know he was about it because when they came, he the only one up in fire. What? Well, the Lord had to tell him, hold up, Peter, let me heal his ear. Man, put that thing up, man. Put that thing up, man. That's how you already know he was a rider because, man, the Lord ain't have to say nothing, do nothing. Boom, boom. Right off the rip. Ain't no talking. Ain't no talking. You can put your hands on anybody you want to. Bet you don't put them on him. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord had to let him know. Well, we don't rock like that, Peter. That's why he had to come back around and tell Pilate, my kingdom's not of this world, sir. Because if it were, you better believe all mine would fight. So you already know. But the Lord ain't recruit no cowards. It just wasn't time for it. That's why he had to tell him, if my kingdom was of this world, my servants would fight, because there's a time for war and there's a time for peace. It wasn't time to fight right then. He had to let him know. Solomon told you about this here. My servants gonna know it ain't time to fight. Because better believe, they ready. And it ain't just these 12 either. Somebody cut, they ready off, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it. I don't think nobody else want to hear it either. But that's real though. Them boys was ready. You got to remember it's other people start walking with him in John 6, right? You got to remember, it was 120 people out there when they picked Matthias. That means it was a lot of people walk with this man. You know what I'm saying? It's just when he dealt on intimate things and detailed things, he pulled the 12 to the side. It's just for y'all to know. Y'all got to go over before the people. Because you got to remember, Hamashiach is the river of righteousness. They was in the midst of him, dwelling in him. You know he the river of righteousness because when they hit him in the side, the water came out. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man. He say them 12 that you pick ought to dwell in the midst of Jordan, right? Didn't he say let them dwell in me and I in them, perfect in one? Would they be in the midst of him? Let's go back to Revelation 21. Man, these niggas crazy, man. Cuz we're talking Greece. I want to deal with this here. Maybe I'll say the Nehemiah thing for later on next week, Lord will. Man, that nigga say everybody who came before the Lord was thieves and robbers, taking what the man said way out of context. He said, they all thieves and robbers. I say, boy, you calling Nehemiah a thief? You calling Moses a thief? You calling Jacob a thief? Like, that's why he tell you, better be careful with, and it just don't be with that there, man. All y'all ought to be cognizant of everything you say out your mouth. Because once that stuff come out your mouth, you can't take it back. That don't mean you can't be forgiven for it, but you can't take it back. You know what I'm saying? And that man say don't be rash with your mouth to cause your flesh to sin. You know what that means, being rash, right? Too quick on the trigger. Too quick on the trigger. Yeah, and think before you speak. 21 and 12. Revelation. And the wall, and had a wall, great and high, and had 12 gates, and the gates 12 angels, and the names thereon were the name, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And out of the east 3 gates, and on the north 3 gates, and on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates, and the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Ain't that something that there'll be one foundation coming out of each tribe, just like he told Joshua, get a stone, get a man out of each tribe and let him get a stone? That's amazing. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. So let's go back to Exodus 32 and clean that on up. It's about 5 o'clock. I had some other things we ain't getting nowhere near. Y'all we'll touch on them another day. How many was you able to get done? I figured as much.
I'm working on the second one.
Yeah.
Probably ain't gonna have to do it.
Oh, that's right. You got to wait for it to do all that on there. No, you can't even shut it down, can you? That blows butt cheeks.
I mean, the second one, and Mike just get up.
Nah, we could do it in the library. I think he got one up. He said he trying to get a second one up.
Ask which one of them niggas paying the bill. So you gotta do all that.
They say we be back up running. They say he had to make a switch. Exodus 32, where we stopped at about verse 19.
One of them niggas gonna pay the bill.
Verse 20. And he took the calf which they made and burned it in the fire and ground it to powder and strawed it upon the water and made the children of Israel to drink of it. And Moses said unto Aaron, what did this people unto thee that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou know the people that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, make us gods which shall go before us, for as this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we walk not what has become of him. The reason why we looking at this stuff, and I thank the Lord, because him actually asking that question and us actually spending a lot of time looking at it, is dealing with one particular thing. Those people were not ready. They knew what he was going up there to get, right? He was going up there to get the testimony. And in the time them going up there to get the testimony, they were playing. They thought they had time to play, and they thought they had time to kick back, because I don't know when he coming. Because guess what? They were scoffers and they were mockers, going after their own love. I want to eat, drink, and play. You know what I'm saying? I want to eat, drink, and play. We, in this time period of our life and how we living, we had to sit back and look at, you don't want to be around here eating, drinking, and playing all the time. It ain't nothing wrong with wanting to have a good time, kicking around, but you can't be, sometimes you got to be serious. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to go ahead and handle your business and put a battery in your back and get a fire lit up under your behind and start dragging your feet. You know what I'm saying? Because you see what happened with them. Oh, he ain't coming back. I got time. You know what I'm saying? All they had to do was just wait. But you know, that's black people problem. They don't want to wait for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Always late and can't wait.
And they strike.
You know what I'm saying? I'm for real though. Niggas always late and they impatient. You know what I'm saying? That's why we don't get the thing that we seek after. You know what I'm saying? We crack jokes about niggas being late all the time, but niggas always late. But when it comes to Mashiach in your soul, you can't be late. Can't be late. When it comes to Mashiach in your soul, you can't be impatient. You're going to have to bide your time and endure to the end that you might be saved. Well, let's see what happened now. Not only did he say he'll make these people drink this calf, but let's drop down to about verse 25. And Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame amongst their enemies. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on Yah's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. Uh-oh. Who's on Yah? Didn't we already look at that? Those who are coming, they're going to be joined. There's going to be some here that'll see me in my glory, and they will not taste death till they see me come. That's what he said, right? We got to see where he get it from. Then he say, and he said unto them, thus saith Yah Elohim of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in out from the gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. For Moses said, consecrate yourselves today to Yah, every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow a blessing upon you, a blessing this day. So that means because of their sin, he threw a sword down, knocked these people out, right? When we turn around in Exodus 34, what we see? What we see in Exodus 34 about verse 31. He said, there's some standing right here, they won't taste death till they see me coming in my glory. That's what he told them, right? Now you just seen these people here, they tasted death. Let's see if we see Moses coming in his glory. He said, Moses called unto them Aaron, and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him, and Moses talked with them. And afterwards all the children of Israel came nigh, and he gave them in commandment all that Yah had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But when Moses went in before Yah to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out, and he came out and spake unto the children of Israel that which he was commanded. And the children of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone, and Moses put the veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with him. You know, there had to be some people standing right there that didn't taste death till they seen him come in that glory, because some of them probably died afterwards, after all the foolishness that these people did in that wilderness. Because he said, it's some of y'all standing here that's not going to taste death till you see me coming in my glory. You know what I'm talking about? Now he done worked this sword down and knocked all these people out. Why? Because they corrupted the way of Yah. No other reason other than that. Hold on, there's something else I want to look at before we hit this Numbers 23. Before we look at number 23, come over here to Numbers 21 and 22. Now, when we looked at them parting the Jordan, the River Jordan, right? That was them having a highway to walk through, right? You know in Isaiah chapter 11, he said he'll make a highway again for the remnant of his people. Y'all know what I'm talking about? We might have to get it just in case. I don't think everybody know what I'm talking about. You're going to get your Isaiah 11 about verse 15. We're going to read this Numbers 21 and 22 first. I'm going to give y'all a chance to get that Numbers 21. I mean Numbers Isaiah 11 and 15. Make it 21 and 21 in Numbers. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, let me pass through thy land, and we will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will not drink of the waters of the well, but we will go along by the king's highway until we pass by thy borders. Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his border, but Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness, and he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. Israel smote him with the edge of the sword and possessed his land from Arnon unto Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong. Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in the cities of the Amorites and Heshbon and in the villages thereof. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and had taken all his land out of his hand, even unto Arnon. Wherefore they that speak in Proverbs say, come into Heshbon, let the city of Zion be built and prepared. For there is a fire gone out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It hath consumed Ar of Moab, and the lords of the high places of Arnon. Now I'm going to ask you something. What you think this could be referring to, especially, hold it down, little Mike, hold it down. When we look at verse 21 or 22, I'm not going in your vineyards. I'm going by the king's highway. But they wouldn't let us come through. So they got smoked with the sword. Actually, they came to fight against us. And then they got smoked with the sword. And then a dark saying is taken up saying, let that city be built and prepared. And let a fire come out of it. And a flame come on that city to burn it down. Anybody got an idea? What you think, Troy? Well, y'all, let's hold, I'm gonna show you. Hold this Numbers 21. Let's get Isaiah 11 about this. Yeah. Y'all just hold on.